Right, part three. This is the end of it now. I've galloped through buckles at an alarming rate. I mean, this probably, it's not an in-depth look at them, I can promise you. This is just the broadest introduction. Now, I was telling you how rare it is to find these. I mean, these are the couple of Dshaped buckles I've been able to find over God knows how many years, 15, 20 years, you know, 2 buckles and a couple of broken frames. So you think it's disheartening, but I want to give you hope, and I want to also explain the wonder of the antiques business just generally, and the wonder of it for me, and I think for lots of people that love this stuff, is the hope that one day you will go to an auction or view a sale or look through a shop and you will find something exceptional and wonderful and utterly unexpected. Something that you didn't even believe could exist. You didn't know, and you're just taken away. And it's moments like that that we do this job for. It's not for the money. If it was for the money, I think I'd have jumped out of a window a long time ago. So last week, with my passion and love of buckles, I did look through a catalogue. I did see a buckle. I didn't really believe it. I talked to myself for a good couple of days, going, that can't be real. That can't be real. Well, it's not real. And then I thought, well, maybe it is. Well, we should definitely buy it, because I had become a we at this point. I was talking to myself so much. So I'm going to show you now the reward for when you collect things, for when you start learning about them. And remember, we're learning about, in particular, Dshaped buckles, which are the rarest thing on God's green earth. Perfect ones of these. Don't want to offend anyone that's religious, but Jesus Christ, if you find one of these, do a cartwheel, go out and buy a bottle of champagne. They're extremely rare. I just want to draw your attention. I'll do it with this second rare buckle. Look at the prongs. In particular, always this square 2 prongs. Look at the hinge. You always get this built-up line decoration on the early buckles. And it's important to remember that. And they're always D-shaped. Now, I found this, which is, yes, it is a Victorian box of Cadbury's chocolates. And frustratingly, there were no chocolates in it. There was, however, a buckle which, understandably, I really do mean understandably, because this whole area is so niche, was catalogued as late 19th, early 20th century. And I really did think it might be for a while. But I looked and I looked and I looked. And I'm going to show it to you now. Just remember how excited I was about the paste Dshaped buckles and the silver Dshaped buckles with nothing in the middle. That were all twisted and bent. And they're the rarest things on the God's green earth. So you can imagine how I felt when I saw this. This is a Dshaped buckle. But my God, this is the Dshaped buckle. At some point, at the beginning of the 18th century, probably 1720, probably 1730 even, a European trader, maybe a seaman, went over to China, and as they did with all their private cargoes, he probably handed them a buckle. He said, "This is my buckle. I want you to make me a bigger one, a carved one. Can you make one out of mother of pearl?" And you can see that the mechanism is replicated. The 2 square prongs are the same. the hinge, this decoration here, this linear decoration, and the shading, which is virtually identical. The only concession that had to be made in terms of construction is the mother of pearl wasn't strong enough to have this anchor arrangement. You can imagine that carved in mother of pearl would have just broken straight off. Indeed, this has been in its life broken, so they made the sort of later form, slightly later form of Dshaped there, but again with a single tooth of mother of pearl. The whole thing, and I'll put pictures up of this, so you just won't get the detail on the phone, but every part of that has been delicately engraved. But then there's the frame. My goodness, look what the carver did with the frame. No paste here, just carving. Look at it. You've got either rabbits or fawns, I'm undecided there, and all in scrolling leaves. You've got phoenix bosses here, where of course in the original you would have just had large faceted stones, but then dragons carved in mother of pearl, catching the sacred pearl at the top. I cannot find, and I have been looking, I cannot find another example of an early 18th century Chinese export carved mother of pearl D-shaped buckle anywhere. If you're a museum and you have one in a store cupboard, let me know. I'd love to see it. This is why we do antiques. This is what I live for. This is a once in a lifetime find. It wasn't very expensive, but money doesn't really matter when it comes to objects like this. This is a discovery. It was only last week. And quite understandably, unless you had an intricate knowledge of the styles, forms and constructions of 18th century buckles, you wouldn't have known what this was. I doubt very many specialists in Chinese art would have known what this was. You had to have a particular overlap to really appreciate the enormous rarity and uniqueness of this piece. It's made my year. If I find nothing else this year, I found this. If I find nothing else again, I found this. So, you know, some dealers go through their whole lives and they never find anything as rare or important that adds to the history of a subject as this. So it's all out there. If you put the work in, if you learn about a subject and you think, why am I doing this? You know, is this worthwhile? Well, it is, because you enjoy doing it. But these are the rewards. The rarest, dare I say, he likes saying things are the rarest in the world, doesn't he? Well, this is the rarest D-shaped buckle in the world. Prove me wrong if you can. I don't think you can. So that's the world of buckles, an introduction, and I hope you've got a glimmer of hope of what you can find out there. And they're wonderful things. And honestly, even if you just find one of these, I mean, I'll hate you forever if you do, because it won't be mine. But if you find one of these in perfect condition, you'll be doing tremendously well. If you find one of these in good condition, count yourself lucky. And if all you ever do is buy beautiful pairs of late Georgian silver buckles, remember, they're still they're still the ones that survived being scrapped in the late 70s or changed when they were made for fashion just a couple of years after they were made. So these are still rare things, but it's fascinating, and I was really delighted to share it with you. And I'm sorry I've gone on for 3 episodes over this, but we barely touched the surface. But I wanted to build up and make you understand and show you this fellow and make you understand why I was just, it's just the best thing in the world to find it, like the best thing in the world. Next time, nothing as exciting as this. It'll probably be spoons again, I don't know. But until next time, good hunting, goodbye, and remember, it's all out there still, just waiting to be found. All you've got to do is go and have a look for it.